the experts at the scene had this advice for other would-be climbers.
Number one, make sure to tell someone where you're going and make sure they know what you're doing just in case they need to call 911. Number two, make sure to have all necessary supplies and equipment like a first aid kit and a light source. And number three, make sure to consult an expert before trying anything new.
5 people were killed in a plane that hit a house in Southern California. Meanwhile, authorities say no one was injured when a small private plane crashed in a marsh of a North Carolina island. The pilot got out of the plane uninjured after the crash on Knott's Island. Drivers are taking it slow on the snow-covered roads in the Sierra Nevada mountains following a weekend full of snow. There's already 8 feet of snow on the ground in some parts along the California-Nevada border, with more on the way. This driver is just happy to regain control of her car again after a series of close calls.
We skidded once when we got off the freeway, and when we were coming back in, we skidded. Almost hit the sidewall, but luckily the car stopped.
And a team of student athletes from Hampton University are lucky. They got out of a charter bus that caught on fire on I-95. You're listening to NCN News.
At AT&T, we believe that access to affordable home internet brings you incredible opportunities. You can enjoy the power to explore a digital world of possibilities and connect with family, friends, and the things that matter most. That's why there's access from AT&T. If a member of your household is a SNAP participant, you may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month. No commitment, no deposit, no installation fee. Plus, get an in-home Wi-Fi gateway at no extra cost. Call 1-855-220-5211 or visit att.com/aware to learn more.
SNAP refers to the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Pricing excludes tax. Service will include a monthly data allowance depending on the type and speed of service you receive. If you exceed your monthly data plan allowance, you will be automatically charged $10 for each 50 gigabytes of data usage in excess of your data plan, even if less than 50 gigabytes is used. For details about data allowances, go to att.com/internet-usage. Wi-Fi enabled device required. Other restrictions apply.
North Carolina politicians are gearing up for a big debate this year over Medicaid expansion, and the state is already prepping for other big changes in how it pays for and treats most current enrollees. The State Department of Health and Human Services is expected to announce this week which groups won managed care contracts to serve about 1.6 million Medicaid recipients. Being fat kills in more ways if you're younger.
Researchers in the United States say the millennial generation are at greater risk of getting an obesity-related cancer than people born in the 1950s. The study shows that an increasing number of younger people are being diagnosed with 6 types of cancer that have been linked to obesity. Researchers suggest this may be down to younger people being exposed to the dangers of obesity earlier and for longer.
The Walmart store in High Point that closed after an intentionally set fire is partially reopened. About 80% of the store located on South Main Street is back open. CBS's Steve Kathan looks at Super Bowl ads.
The Super Bowl ad getting the most buzz began as a beer commercial.
Look, it's the Bud Knight. Dilly dilly!
And morphed into an ad for HBO's final season of Game of Thrones. Bud Light also stirred reaction from the National Corn Growers Association.
That's not ours.
Miller Lite uses corn syrup.
Let us take it to them at once.
Amazon used star power. Harrison Ford chased his dog.
Ordering dog food. Ordering dog food.
You can bark all you want. I'm not paying for any more dog food.
Jason Bateman ran the elevator in a Nissan ad.
Hello, folks. What floor?
Oh, we're car shopping.
Ah, you're going down.
The gross out winner.
I choose chunky style milk because it has the wholesome chunks growing kids need.
The chunky milk in the Mint Mobile ad.
Oh, that's not right.
Kind of like your wireless bill.
Steve Kathan, CBS.
AM 590 WCAB Rutherfordton with FM translator service on W265DW at 100.9.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The NTSB trying to figure out why a small plane crashed into a Southern California home, killing 5 people. ABC's Alex Stone.
It's a normal Southern California neighborhood, suburban area northeast of Anaheim. People were inside their homes getting ready for the Super Bowl, which was just about to start when the plane fell from the sky, slamming into a home with people inside. They couldn't get out. Neighbors, some wearing Rams jerseys, ran over with garden hoses, trying to put out the flames.
President Trump is getting ready to deliver his State of the Union address on Capitol Hill tomorrow.
White House advisors say expect the president to ask a divided Congress to unite and do what's best for the country on immigration and other divisive issues. He also plans to ask Congress to finally approve money for roads, bridges, airports, and rail lines, that elusive infrastructure and jobs bill the president and Republicans were not able to pass in the last 2 years.
ABC's Andy Field. The calls continue for Virginia Governor Ralph Northam to resign after a racist photo from his medical school yearbook surfaced. Virginia Legislative Black Caucus Chair Lamont Bagby.
There's an opportunity for Ralph Northam to have some redemption in this and figure out how he plays in this piece. But he cannot do it as governor.
Jury deliberations are expected to begin today in the trial of accused drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. ABC's Aaron Katursky says it comes after prosecutors spent weeks laying out their case.
They say there is no bigger criminal in the modern era than El Chapo, not Osama bin Laden, not any other terrorist. There is no one responsible for more American deaths than Joaquin Guzman for the sheer number of drugs that he flooded the country with over the last several decades.
And more countries, including Germany, Great Britain, and France, say they're recognizing opposition leader in Venezuela, Juan Guaido, as the country's leader. You're listening to ABC News.
Question: do you have a health insurance plan you are not happy with? Well, Bethany and Jason thought they were stuck. Their plan just kept getting more expensive, and Bethany's favorite doctor didn't even take that plan anymore. And then some friends at church told them about Medi-Share.
With our previous insurance, we were paying $1,200 a month. With Medi-Share, we now pay around $600 a month.
Yes, they're paying $600 less per month, and that's a pretty typical savings with Medi-Share. And they actually like Medi-Share more.
I was able to go back to my original doctor that I absolutely loved, and it's just been an absolutely beautiful thing being a part of Medi-Share.
Yeah, so they pay a lot less and they like it more. No wonder Medi-Share is growing so fast. Find out more. They're super easy to talk to. All you have to do is call 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
A mixed martial arts fighter facing murder charges in Texas. He's now back in custody after pulling off an escape.
Cedric Marks has been implicated in the deaths of 3 people, including 2 ex-girlfriends. And when he escaped from a prisoner transfer van in Conroe, Texas, every cop in town joined the search. The 44-year-old Marks did not have a weapon, except for his hands.
Give it up for Cedric Marks!
He's a professional mixed martial arts fighter. 9 hours after slipping away, Marks was found in a backyard.
He was squatting in a 55-gallon trash can.
Conroe Police Chief Jeff Christie says Marks gave up quietly when he was discovered. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Israel has now started work on a controversial wall.
Israel has begun building a 20-foot-high steel fence that will completely surround the Gaza Strip. 40 miles long and equipped with security sensors, the fence will sit on top of a subterranean concrete wall that's already nearly built. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered the multi-layered barriers after the 2014 Gaza war to stop Hamas tunneling and cross-border attacks. The $850 million project is expected to be finished by the end of the year. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
And the Super Bowl, won by the Patriots, took quite a bite out of Netflix. It tweeted, quote, "So apparently the Super Bowl thing is kind of a big deal." Viewership down about 32%. This is ABC News.
It's time to join the millions of people that meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Zoom gives you flawless video, crystal clear audio, and instant sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
Good Monday morning. It is a beautiful start to the work week today. We're mostly sunny to partly cloudy and very mild, with high temperatures expected to climb into the mid-60s this afternoon. Not bad for a Monday. Tonight, partly cloudy skies in the forecast, with low temperatures falling into the mid-40s overnight. Tomorrow, we are even warmer with sunshine continuing. Highs tomorrow climb into the upper 60s to the lower 70s. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Well, it's another beautiful day shaping up here for us after the weekend was kind of nice. Yesterday was beautiful, wasn't it? Today should be pretty much the same thing. Mostly sunny with highs around 67 here in the foothills. Then dropping back to 45 tonight. Sunny skies again tomorrow. And then Wednesday, it starts getting a little bit iffy with the precipitation possibilities, but there are low chances, 30% chance on Wednesday night, 20% on Thursday. And then by the weekend, Saturday, it's clearing back off again. So night, not bad weather at all this week. Again, right now it's mostly clear and 37 degrees here at WCAB in Rutherford. Thank you for joining us this morning. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you're not too unhappy with the Super Bowl. Some of you are happy, I'm sure. Some of you are not, I'm sure. And hope you're going to be able to make it into work today after partying last night. Anyway, I have these death announcements this morning. Ruby Mae Moore Kirby, age 91, of Rutherford, passed away Saturday, February the 2nd, at Oakland Living Center. Ruby was a native of Rutherford County and a member of First Baptist Church of Rutherford. Memorial services will be held 2 p.m. Wednesday at Crow's Funeral Chapel with Reverend Tim Marsh officiating. Online condolences may be made at www.crowmortuary.com for Ruby Mae Moore Kirby. Jessica Jean Young, age 47, of Rutherford, died Thursday at her home. The family will receive friends from 1 until 2 o'clock Saturday at First Baptist Church in Rutherford. A memorial service will be at First Baptist Church of Rutherford at 2 o'clock on Saturday, February the 9th, with Reverend Tim Marsh officiating. A celebration of life will be held following the memorial service in the fellowship hall of the church. Mike Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Service is in charge of the arrangements for Jessica Jean Young of Rutherford. Those are the death announcements we have in house this morning. Complete information on these and others as they become available to us can be heard this morning at 11:30 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report here on WCAB, the most information for the foothills. Well, in Saturday's game, UNC and Louisville, UNC had a good day, 79 over Louisville, 69, 79-69 Louisville. And tonight at, tonight, see who we have tonight coming up. I believe it's Roy Williams live tonight. No, let's see, we have a Tar Heel game this evening, a Tar Heel game with Virginia, UNC at Virginia, and we'll join that pregame following News 13 at 6 this evening. All right here on WCAB in Rutherford. Just as a reminder, if you're passionate about cooking, nutrition, health, or just simply food, if you answered yes to any of these, join the Extension Master Food Volunteer Program. The 2019 application for the EMFV program is now open to Rutherford County citizens. You may still can get in on that. To apply for the 2019 program, visit rutherford.ces.ncsu.edu and get more information on that for the Extension Master Food Volunteer Program.
Be the best Valentine for your Valentine. Send in a card to WCAB and be in the drawing for fabulous prizes, including dinner for two, chauffeur limo ride to dinner, flowers, jewelry, candy, massages, and much more. Send a Valentine with your name, your sweetheart's name, and your phone number, and tell us your favorite love song, and you could be the lucky winner. There'll be several daily drawings with some really nice prizes throughout the week of February the 11th. The preliminary prize winners will still be eligible for that grand prize drawing. The grand prize drawing will be held on Thursday morning, February the 14th at around 8:15 on the morning show with Jim Bishop. The mailing address is WCAB, Post Office Box 511, Rutherford, North Carolina 28139, or bring it to us at 191 Whiteside Road in Rutherford. It must be in our hands no later than 8 a.m. Thursday morning, February the 14th. Good luck, and stay tuned to 100.9 FM, 590 AM to see who will be that lucky winner.
The University of Farmington in Michigan offered students flexible schedules. It promised to prepare students for jobs in the global economy. The tuition didn't break the bank. Grad students paid just $11,000. Undergrads were charged $8,500. That's peanuts by comparison to other places. But here's the best part. Students at Farmington University never had to deal with the stresses of other universities. No worries about grades homework or being triggered by microaggressions because there were no classes. There weren't any professors. There were no degrees. Farmington University was a fraud. It had a website, but it was all a scam to allow foreign nationals who were in the U.S. on student visas to stay here legally without having to really attend school. That's right, my friends. Foreign nationals outsmarted America again. Until last Wednesday, when arrest warrants started flying. It turns out the University of Farmington was set up by ICE as a sting operation. And now people here illegally are being stung, and they actually are learning something. And the Democrats found out about this, and they are just livid. Did you know that there is a new victim of identity theft every 2 seconds? It means a criminal could be spending your money, applying for loans in your name, and even damaging your good credit, all without you even knowing. It's a good thing there's LifeLock identity theft protection. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to detect and alert you to a wide range of identity threats, like your social security number for sale on the dark web. And if you do have an issue involving identity theft, one of LifeLock's identity restoration specialists is going to work with you to fix it. Now, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions in all businesses, but with LifeLock, you get identity theft protection and additional features to help protect your devices against cyber threats for as low as $9.99 a month. Go to LifeLock.com or call 800-440-4833. Use the promo code RUSH for 10% off your first year. LifeLock.com. And don't forget the name RUSH as the promo code for 10% off your first year.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You can relive them again here on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. WCAB.
When your name is on the company, you know you want it done right. That's what Hutchins Pest Control does. They do it right. With over 43 years of experience behind the name, you can rest assured when you call on Tim Hutchins and his team of trained professionals that you know you've called the honest, dependable, and on-time service company. They appreciate the confidence you've placed in them by voting them the best of the best for 8 years. Call on them to get your home or office protected. That number is 287-5171. That's Hutchins Pest Control.
We can take a trip back in time when we stop inside the Washburn store. Need a spinning wheel or an old-fashioned wood stove or washboard, a wooden rocking horse, Lincoln Logs, Tinker Toys, overalls, a wide selection of candy and John Deere toys. 4 generations of the Washburn family have owned a Washburn store in Bostic, and members of the 6th generation work there regularly. It's always fun to step back in history and enjoy shopping at Washburn store between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic-Sunshine Highway. Tell your friends and neighbors about it. Bring them with you. You'll enjoy your visit to Washburn store each and every time.
In 1869, the Kiowa and the Comanche were being relocated to a reservation near Fort Sill, Oklahoma. President Grant felt if Quakers were hired as Indian agents, they would be able to teach the Indians to be pacifists. So Laurie Tatum, a man known for his Quaker work, was appointed as the Kiowa Comanche agent. Although the 47-year-old knew little or nothing about wild Indians, he felt that he could tame them with honesty industry, patience, and kindness. The Comanche weren't a major problem, but the Kiowa were impossible. Laurie had the military withdrawn from guarding the provisions. The Kiowa saw this as a weakness, and they stole the provisions. Learning this approach wasn't working, Laurie tempered it with toughness. He had the 3 chiefs responsible for the Texas raids arrested. He put the provisions under guard and refused to give any provisions to marauding Indians. Although the government paid ransoms for white captives taken, Laurie, feeling ransom only encouraged the taking of captives, refused to pay any. Increasingly, Laurie felt that force was necessary to control the Kiowa. Eventually, his actions conflicted with his Quaker superiors, and losing confidence in Grant's peace policy, in 1873, Laurie resigned. Later, Laurie Tatum wrote about his belief and the experience he had with the Kiowa. On January 22, 1900, at the age of 78, he died. Incidentally, late in life, Laurie was appointed the guardian of an infant by the name of Herbert Hoover, the man who became our 31st president. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
All right, it's time to get started with our Monday morning news hour to call around the county to find out what's been happening over the weekend. And to get us off to a good start this morning is Officer King with the Sheriff's Department. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing today, Jim?
Doing fine. Welcome back to Monday again. Another Monday we got. Were you,
yes, sir.
Were you happy or disappointed in the Super Bowl yesterday?
My team wasn't playing in it, so it didn't matter to me either way who won.
I'm with you there. Tell us what's been going on.
In the past 48 hours, the Sheriff's Department responded to 220 calls for service. There were 19 arrests processed in the jail, and jail currently has 172 people incarcerated. On our incident reports, Tia Holtz-Claw reported a breaking and entering that occurred on J.M. Lovelace in Ellenboro. Victoria Jacobs from Paxton Drive in Rutherford reported a larceny of a dog. And on our arrest reports, we have a Christopher Pike from Piney Mountain Church Road was arrested and served with felony probation violation, 3 counts on that, assault on a female and injury to personal property, and he received a 48-hour hold. Brent Hankinson from Broy Hill Road in Rutherford was served with a felony probation violation and a misdemeanor probation violation. No bond given. Chad Jarrell, listed as homeless, was arrested and charged with possession of a Schedule II controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and misdemeanor breaking and entering. Received a $40,000 secured bond. Tristan Mott-Singer from Thompson Road in Rutherford was served with warrants for assault and battery, communicating threats, injury to real property, and also criminal summons for possession or consuming beer or wine on unauthorized premises. Received a written promise to appear in court. Tyler Weeks from Windy Hill Drive in Forest City was served with a felony larceny warrant and also failure to appear on a misdemeanor. He received a $3,000 secured bond. Warren Raines from the Spindale Prison was served with a warrant for possession of a controlled substance in prison. Received a written promise to appear in court. And Roberto Alvarez from Amity Drive Apartments in Forest City was arrested and charged with misdemeanor possession of a Schedule VI controlled substance and carrying a concealed gun. Received a $500 secured bond. And that's all we have for today.
Officer King, we do appreciate that report, and you be safe out there today.
Thank you, Jim. You have a good one.
See you now.
It's time for you to test drive the affordable, fuel-efficient Ford Fusion from Sisk Family Ford in Forest City. Family-owned Sisk Ford can put you into the car you want with a payment plan you can appreciate. If it's a truck you want, get the Ford truck that's breaking records in sales. Ask about why the sales department is being bragged on with each and every sale that they make. They love your business at Sisk Family Ford, and it shows. New and used automobiles and an award-winning service department makes Sisk Family Ford the choice for so many. Step up to Ford today. Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Here's Jessica now with the Communication Center report for us today. Good morning, Jessica.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
In the past 48 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 596 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 67 EMS calls, 45 for rescues. Law Enforcement Sheriff's Office had 220, Forest City 114, Lake Lure 8, Rutherford 31, Spindale 99. Fire calls, Cliffside responded to a vehicle accident, Ellenborough responded to a residential fire alarm, Shingahala responded to a vehicle accident, and Union Mills responded to a vehicle accident. That's all we've got.
Thanks so much. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye. You know, untreated hearing loss can be one of the early contributing causes of early dementia. People start isolating themselves from people because they can't hear well, they can't not communicating well. People sort of leave them alone, and those kind of things set in. If there's a way that you could early stop that, would you want to know more about it? Well, I suggest you get in touch with Lisa Terry, the hearing specialist at Miracle Ear. There's a lot to be said about Miracle Ear hearing instruments. It's a worldwide company, but made in a good old U.S. of A. They make them so small anymore you hardly even know they're there, but boy, can you hear what's going on. Why don't you check with Lisa Terry and her team at Miracle Ear? Open Monday through Friday. Phone number is 447-7716. Call, set up an appointment today. Get that free hearing test, no obligation whatsoever. Here's Ruby Taylor down in Danieltown, SDO District. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
What's on your report today?
Well, the fire department went out yesterday afternoon, but I don't know what they had. I was going out. On my birthday calendar, I've got Jackie Henson, Leslie Horton, and Cal Thompson having birthdays today. And Mr. and Miss Brandon Bride is having an anniversary. And hope these people have a nice day. And the sons are in the legs today and going to the feet tomorrow. And, Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks, Ruby. Have a good day.
You too.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
JD and Marie Shook have lost their minds, or they've just got the New Year spirit. Starting now, every time you visit the Recliner Center, you can register to win a brand spanking new recliner. A recliner will be given away every month from now and just whenever. All you have to do is go to the Recliner Center and register. Now, after the drawing, the names will be tossed out, and at the beginning of the month, a new box will be ready for you to register again. So don't miss out on your chance to win a recliner from the Recliner Center. This is JD and Marie's way of saying thank you to all their friends and customers for making them a success for over 30 years. Don't forget to check out the Spring Air bedding. Doctors tell us a good night's sleep is very important for energy and stamina. Shouldn't you be resting better this year and having more energy? Spring Air bedding and a chance to win a recliner. And the Recliner Center will now be opening on Mondays and Tuesdays. Store hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturdays, 9 to 2. They're on Coopers Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Now we're heading up toward Rumling Ball, North Carolina. They're overlooking beautiful Lake Lure. We have Steve on the phone with us to give us a report from that part of our county. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim. It is a beautiful morning. Got a little bit of fog lifting off the lake here, and it's 36 degrees. So a little bit of frost on the roof over here. So typical February morning, I guess. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Life's good.
Beautiful, beautiful day.
Yeah.
And we got the Super Bowl behind us. Now we can look forward to the March Madness ACC tournament.
There you go. A lot of folks were glad to see the Super Bowl come and go. I watched it. Didn't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
The wife likes to watch the commercials, but you put a lot of money in the commercials these days. You don't get much content out of them. You see a lot of special effects.
Yeah.
But you really, it's like, wow, that wasn't that great of a commercial, but it's pretty cool in one sense. with the money they put into them, the special effects, but that's it. I mean, I don't know if I had the best commercial last night for the first time, and they all kind of just like, oh, okay. So some didn't really make a whole lot of sense.
I saw some previews of the commercials, and I didn't see anything that jumped out at me this year. Sometimes they're really good, but I didn't see a thing like you said that was that good.
No,
not to
not
pay
at
the
all.
kind of money they have to pay.
Yeah, but I enjoyed the game. I like a little defense, so I didn't have a dog in the fight, so I didn't scream at the TV, so. I was going to root for the Rams, but they kind of turned me off a little bit towards the end there. So
really,
yeah, they said maybe. I think the coach said, well, maybe we'll go to the White House, maybe not. Get invited. I said, okay, I'm done with you guys.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, so I wasn't.
Attitude means a lot to me.
It does. When they want to disrespect to me, it's disrespecting the country. I don't know.
I agree.
So I'm just done with that. I said, okay, I'm not interested. So anyway, it's been fairly quiet on the event front here in the last 24 hours. And over the weekend, of course, the weather wasn't bad. So really, when that happens, we don't have any problems generally. So we're problem free for now. We don't have any real cold weather coming at us anytime soon. It doesn't look like so. We'll hopefully enjoy some of these milder days and maybe get some golf, make some golf money.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Well, enjoy your Monday, and we'll check back in with you on Tuesday to see if everything else is still going good.
Okay, we'll do that.
All right. See you now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That's Steve up at Running Ball, Security Gate, 27 now past 7 o'clock. When your vision is important to you, and I know it is, who you trust your vision care to should be important to you as well. Dr. Troy Tebbis, owner and operator of Tri-City Optometric Eye Care in Rutherford, has been voted best in Rutherford County. And Dr. Tebbis, OD, PhD, takes time to understand his patients' needs and concerns. Tri-City Optometric Eye Care offers full-service eye exams, contact lenses, emergency eye treatment, quality affordable eyewear, and hundreds of fashionable frames. The friendly office staff will be glad to file your visit with Medicare, Medicaid, Blue Cross, United Healthcare, whatever you have, just name a few. Dr. Tebbis is accepting new patients right now. Just call 828-288-8662 for an appointment. Tri-City Optometric Eye Care is located at 337 North Main Street in Rutherford. Dr. Tebbis also has an office located in Tryon at 486 South Trade Street. If your vision is important to you, who you trust your vision care to should be important. Here's Bob Hodge now over in the Hudlow Volunteer Fire District. Bob, how you doing this morning?
Oh, doing just fine on this Monday morning.
How was your weekend? Good?
Oh, it was good. We had a nice weekend.
Yeah, didn't we, though?
Yeah, so looked like most all week's going to be pretty nice there. Not too bad, so.
I'll take it.
I will, too, over that 10, 15-degree temperature we had last week.
Yes.
But, Jim, up here with the fire department over the weekend, it's been fairly quiet. We've answered a few medical calls. Didn't have any fire or wreck calls or anything. And let's see, Mount Vernon Community Club is having their chicken pie and country ham supper coming up this coming Saturday even, February the 9th, and that starts from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Adults $9, children $5, 5 and under is free. That includes country ham, chicken pie, green beans, slaw, grits, applesauce, red-eyed gravy, homemade desserts, and tea there. And, Jim, that's about it up here, and look like we're going to have a pretty nice day, and I hope you have a nice day today.
Bob, thank you very much. You too, and enjoy, and I'll be back in touch with you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Lifestyle Wellness and Spa is celebrating their 31st anniversary, and you get the gift. That's right, the gift of membership at Lifestyle for only 31 cents. That's yours for the asking. Thank you, Rutherford County, for supporting our family-owned and family-operated business. At Lifestyle, you can enjoy group exercise classes, yoga, silver stretch, women's studio, swimming pool, new equipment, and so much more. Join now during the anniversary celebration for only 31 cents at Lifestyle Wellness and Spa. 31 cents. Can you imagine? And ask about the new 828 Functional Weight Loss Challenge. There are only 20 slots left in that one.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
For the best deals on Diamond Dog Food, stop by Farmer's Friend, Feed, Seed, and Supply, Whiteside Road, Rutherford. Not only great prices on dog food, Farmer's Friend, Feed, Seed, and Supply has cedar shavings, $6.99 while supplies last. Cow leg tubs, 24% protein, 200 pound, $49.99. 20-pound propane tanks, $10.99. Wrangler Sweet Feed, $7.49 for the 50-pound bag. Also get fish mocks in the 100-count container, only $15.99. The prices are better at Farmer's Friend, Feed, Seed, and Supply. One stop for all your farm, garden, and pet needs. 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton.
I can see stacks and stacks of round bales of hay over there just waiting for somebody to come and claim. Big stacks. Okay, let's move over to Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue Price, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How was your weekend?
Well, it was all right. We had a good weekend. Our pastors came yesterday after church and visited with us most of the afternoon. We enjoyed
That's good.
having them. And let's see, I've got 34 degrees this morning, so it's not too bad out there. Didn't have any calls from the fire department. Don't have any birthdays on my church calendar. On my personal calendar, I've got Tracy Hauser. So hope she has a good day today.
Yeah, she's getting older by the day.
Y'all be good to her today. We are, we all.
Yes. Thank goodness.
Yes. Well, let's see. Fairview has a birthday for Grayson Smith. And I don't have Fairview's First Broad's calendar yet, so not too many celebrating, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. And I don't have any announcements, nothing come in yet, so it's just quiet and calm over here looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thanks, so you too, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, right, bye-bye.
More than 1 million Americans have heart attacks each year. And if you or a loved one experiences symptoms of a heart attack, every second matters. That's why the emergency department at Rutherford Regional Health System is a chest pain accredited facility. What does that mean to you? It means quality care here at home that could save precious seconds when treating the symptoms of heart attacks. To learn more about Rutherford Regional and its commitment to safe quality care, visit myrutherfordregional.com. At McCurry Deck Motors, you can browse a selection of vehicles that includes all of the top models in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC lineups. The McCurry Deck Motors lineup of vehicles checks all the boxes, ensuring that they will have the perfect vehicle for any car shopper that visits their lot. Come visit and see what's in store for you and your family with the McCurry Deck quality reputation of fair deals and customer service. Try the Chevy. Find new roads with Chevy. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of Chevy, Buick, and GMC. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City.
When you need daycare services for your adult loved one, Rutherford Life Services is always there for a dependable and loving environment. Rutherford Life offers a place to go during the daytime for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and creative activities. Caregivers can go to work knowing that their loved one is in a safe and reliable place. Rutherford Life is licensed by the North Carolina Division of Aging. Rutherford Life has a full staff of trained professionals who show love and support. Call them today and let them answer any questions you may have concerning adult daycare services. 828-288-1697 or visit the facility at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Nice facility over there. 7:35 here. Let's go up to Union Mills and get the Kelly report from Miss Brenda. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this marvelous Monday morning?
Happy as a lark.
I hear you singing like one, too.
About a tree limb, I'd stand on it and sing.
You ain't got no tree there close by, have you?
No, I don't. Got some bushes.
Got a flagpole, haven't you?
I do, yeah.
Be hard to get on top of it and stand, wouldn't it?
Be hard to get up there, yeah.
Oh, me. But I hope you're having a good day and everybody else also.
Did you have a good weekend?
I did. I had a good weekend. I went with my daughter down to Shelby Saturday and took her aunt out to her 75th birthday dinner, and we just rambled around and had a good time.
Good.
We went back and sat with her and visited for a while, so I enjoyed that.
Good.
Then I went to church yesterday, so
That's good,
and
boy.
I enjoyed that. I have to have church every week.
Well, 7 days without church makes 1 week.
That's exactly right, and if I don't go, I get very weak. I can't remember. The only time I don't go to church is if I'm sick or out of town like I was back in April. But I'm in church. But when I went back in April up to Alexandria, Virginia, I took my Sunday school book, and me and my sisters went back there in the coach and had or the diner, or whatever you call it, and we had our Sunday school lesson there. So I went to church even that, because it says where two or more gathered in my name, there I'll be also.
That's right.
So we had church.
Good.
But I've got 32 degrees on the front porch. Birthdays today, I've got Nick Hauser and Sharon Jacob. I don't have anything on around here, so I hope these people have a great old big day on their special day. And in ways of announcements, we got a buffet breakfast at the Gilkey School Community Center. Starts at 7 a.m. and goes to 10 a.m., and that'll be Saturday, February the 9th. Adults is $6, kids 6 to 12, $3, 6 and under free. It's all you can eat. Sausage, bacon, liver mush, gravy, and biscuits, and all the trimmings and proceeds go to help rebuild the old Gilkey School. I was at Lowe's Friday morning with my sister. Did everybody, if they don't see us together, they think I'm her and she's me. And we was checking out, and she was on one register, and I was on the other side by side, and the woman that was with me, she said, I recognize your voice. Said, which one of y'all's on the radio? Is it you or her? She said, I listen to you every morning. So I said, no, it's me. So,
good.
So I said, well, I'm glad that you listen to us. And I'm ready for March Madness.
Are you?
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Bring on the March Madness. Yes, I'm ready for it.
Won't be long. I tell you,
I know it won't. Time
be up
flies.
here in no time, yeah.
That's right.
Tar Heels had a good game over on Saturday, 79-69 over Louisville.
That's right, and I was in Shelby, and I didn't get to watch it, and I tried to find a radio station that had it, couldn't find it, couldn't pick up WCAB FM. I was just out of sorts everywhere.
Well, it doesn't pay to leave town.
Not when the Tar Heels are playing, but at least they would. And my daughter's aunt, she's a Duke fan, and she wouldn't dare turn that TV where I could see if the Tar Heels was playing.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, they won. That's the main thing. Yeah. So,
well, they played
but I don't know
tonight.
of anything else going on up here. It's just quiet.
All right.
So that's good.
Well, sure, the Tar Heels on for tonight's game, too. And
I will.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Sure will. Okay, have a good one.
Bye. That's Brenda Kelly reporting out of Union Mills this morning at 7:39. You'll find the perfect floor to fit your home and your budget at Southern Carpet. They don't sell plumbing supplies. They don't sell Three Musketeers and candy bars. They don't sell automobiles. They sell carpet and floor covering. That's what they do. That's their business. That's why they're such a specialist in what you're looking for. They know what they're talking about. You get all your questions answered. You go to a plumbing store and ask about carpet and floor covering, you might get an answer, but it may not be the answer you want. But only at Southern Carpet, 1512 West Main Street in Forest City. Visit them at the web if you like and look around, scroll around the website there, southerncarpet.net. Check them out on Facebook. But you better yet, the next time you're ready to purchase floor covering, you cannot find a better place than Southern Carpet.
Gregory's Original Restaurant in the Park Lane Plaza is the perfect dining choice of Rutherford County. Greg offers all your favorite dishes. Try their delicious subs, grinders, pasta, chicken, burgers, fresh garden salads, and the most delicious steaks served with mushroom gravy or peppers and onions. Be sure to call on Gregory's for all your catering needs at 287-2171. Check out the website for menus and event information, www.gregorysoriginal.com. Gregory's in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton.
7:41, let's head toward Ellenboro. Luther Gilligan, top of the day to you, sir.
Yes, Dad, you make that a good place to be downtown Ellenboro on Monday morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's where I'm at, downtown Ellenboro.
Only better place I could think of being this morning instead of Ellenboro, be home in the bed.
Nah, don't need to be home in the bed. Sleep your life away. You lose that time, man. It's unproductive.
That's true. That's true.
But we're having a good day today. We're going to have a great day today. It's going to be a nice day. It's going to be warm. We're going to just go out and have a good time. But see, we had a fairly quiet weekend. Part of it, I had 4 calls. I had 5 calls. They had 3 medical calls to set up the landing zone, but then it canceled the landing zone. Then they had 1 fire alarm Saturday morning. Other than that, they're quiet this morning. Just nothing going on in. Nothing going on there. Everybody just trying to get back in the groove, get another week started, get the work done. Don't have any birthday dates and nothing else is going on. So you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Luther. Enjoy your day.
All right, take care now.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, it's time for birthdays and anniversaries for this 4th day of February. If you are one of the ones celebrating a birthday or anniversary, now is the time to call it in. We've cleared the phone lines for you, 287-3356, 287-3356, and we'll give away some donuts here in just a few moments. You know, for 37 years, the Drop-In has been serving Rutherford County, 37 years, with fully stocked aisles, great selection on merchandise, and super clean stores to shop in. Stop in for refreshing milkshakes, coffee, good coffee, by the way, fountain drinks, delicious chicken or Hunt Brothers pizza. And this month's breakfast special, listen up now, enjoy a delicious liver mush or bologna biscuit for only $1.49. Add egg for only $1.99 total. Get all this and more, but only at Drop-In. Come on, drop in. You know, one of the things we like about Henson's, we brag on them a lot. You got a great staff over there that really will know how to take care of you. But if you need a hardware item, but the big box store is just too overwhelming to go to, well, those big box stores have 50 the same thing, just different brands. But at Henson's, you get personal touch. They got what you're looking for. You don't have to scramble through a whole lot of things. Henson has got it narrowed down for you. One quick stop and shop, folks. From nails to screws to PPG paint and Cabot stain, they're just more than a lumberyard. Jamie and Terry have worked at Henson's for over 10 years, and they can help you find what you need. If it's hard to find, let them work their magic to get it for you. Stop back at the back counter and let the boys round it up for you. Doorbuster sales and special pricing runs each month, all month long. You'll find it available at Henson Building Material. So much more going on over there than you might think. More than just a lumberyard. They're on Duke Street, Forest City. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Well, happy birthday to Aiden Self. He's 6 up in Sunshine. Tommy Bumgard is 65 up in Golden Valley. Angie Quinn is 47 down in Cliffside. Bruce Shelton over in Forest City is having a birthday. Chuck Cunningham, Brenda White, and Tina Elmore. Are they all family? All in Sandy Mush. All right. Betty Boyd, Union Mills is 86 today. Want to wish all these folks a happy. And also Nick Hauser and Sharon Jacob. Happy birthday, folks. And we'll see who's going to win the Daylight Donuts here in just a moment.
A poor Scottish farmer struggling to make ends meet on their small farm one day heard a desperate cry for help. He rushed to a nearby bog and saw a young boy in a life and death struggle to free himself from the muck. He was able to free the child from what would have been a slow but certain death. The next morning, an elegant carriage pulled into the lane of the very modest farm. A stately and well-dressed man stepped out and introduced himself as the father of the young man whose life had been saved. The offer to pay the farmer for his act of service was refused. The farmer felt that he could not take payment for that which was his duty. At that moment, the farmer's young son came out of the farmhouse. The thankful father expressed his desire to help the young boy get a good education. Realizing that this was a dream that was almost too good to be true, the farmer reluctantly conceded. Farmer Fleming's son did very well in school and graduated from St. Mary's Hospital Medical School in London. He went on to become known throughout the world as the noted Sir Alexander Fleming, the discoverer of penicillin. Years later, the nobleman's son was stricken with pneumonia. It was penicillin that saved his life. The name of the nobleman was Lord Randolph Churchill, and his son's name was Sir Winston Churchill. We never know the value of a kind deed done for others. Jesus simply reminds us to do for others like we would want them to do for us. We do our part and leave the rest up to God. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are sold in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
And congratulations going out to Angie Quinn of Cliffside. Angie's 47 today, and she's won herself some Daylight Donuts. We'll have that certificate here for you, Angie. Stop by and pick that up and claim those donuts real soon. Angie Quinn, our donut winner. Coming up next hour, we have Terry Thomas talking about some job opportunities for us. We love to check in with him on Mondays and let you know where there's jobs are. And if you want them, you can go get them. Job market is plentiful right now. So you can find a job most any place you want to go to work. So just listen up. Terry Thomas, a little after 8 o'clock, he'll tell you where those job markets are. At 8:30, of course, the Word of Faith Fellowship continues their program, speaking out and giving their side of the story, all right here exclusively on WCAB. Do encourage you to get your Valentine card sent in to us. We'll start our drawings next week. A lot of great prizes coming up.
An brings the summer sunshine. The tears from your eyes bring the rain. I feel your touch, your warm embrace, and I'm in heaven again. You are my special angel through eternity. I'll have my special angel here to watch over me. You are my special angel through eternity. I'll have my special angel here to watch over me. Here to watch
They tell me that there's someone else you really truly love, and even when we kiss, that she's the one you're thinking of. I guess it's true, 'cause once or twice you called me by her name. I need you so, but now I know that you don't feel the same. It's all over town. You put me down, a second-hand love, a second-hand love. Though late at night I sit alone and count the tears that fall, I'd rather have this kind of love than not see you at all. My friends all say I'm better off if we should drift apart. But every day I hope and pray I'll be first in your heart. It's all over town. You put me down, I'm a second-hand love, a second-hand love, just a second-hand love, a second-hand
This is WCAB 100.9 FM and 590 AM, serving Rutherford and Polk counties. NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam called an emotional senior staff meeting just before the Super Bowl Sunday night amid calls for his resignation. Former Virginia Congressman Jim Moran, a fellow Democrat, says Northam should ride this out.
I think it is a rush to judgment before we know all of the facts and before we've considered all of the consequences.
President Trump took a fresh aim at Democrats in a wide-ranging interview with Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan. At one point, Brennan asked the president if he is ready for the possibility of congressional action, namely impeachment.
If you look at what they're running on, they can't win. So the only way they could possibly beat me, because they're not going to win the election, and they understand that. They understand they cannot win the election.
Authorities say no one was injured when a small private plane crashed in a marsh on the Outer Banks.
The Currituck Fire and EMS said in a news release that the pilot got out of the plane uninjured after the crash Saturday on Knott's Island. Chief Ralph Melton says rescuers used a ladder to get the pilot to dry land. The plane experienced mechanical trouble after taking off from Suffolk Executive Airport in Virginia, about 35 miles from Knott's Island by air. The Cessna was found flipped over after it crashed into the marsh about 5 p.m. Saturday. The crash is still under investigation. I'm Gail Hurd.
Officials are investigating after a person was injured early this morning on the light rail tracks in Charlotte. Police say the man suffered minor injuries. Word from Middle East reporter Dale Glavick this morning that Iraq is not super thrilled with CBS's Super Bowl Sunday interview with President Trump.
Iraq's President Barham Saleh has struck a defiant note saying President Donald Trump never asked Iraq's permission for U.S. troops stationed there to, quote, watch Iran. President Trump told CBS in an interview on Face the Nation that it was important to keep a U.S. military presence in Iraq so that Washington could keep a close eye on Iran because Iran is a real problem.
You're listening to NCN News.
At AT&T, we believe that access to affordable home internet brings you incredible opportunities. You can enjoy the power to explore a digital world of possibilities and connect with family, friends, and the things that matter most. That's why there's access from AT&T. If a member of your household is a SNAP participant, you may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month. No commitment, no deposit, no installation fee. Plus, get an in-home Wi-Fi gateway at no extra cost. Call 1-855-220-5211 or visit att.com/aware to learn more.
SNAP refers to the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Pricing excludes tax. Service will include a monthly data allowance depending on the type and speed of service you receive. If you exceed your monthly data plan allowance, you will be automatically charged $10 for each 50 gigabytes of data usage in excess of your data plan, even if less than 50 gigabytes is used. For details about data allowances, go to att.com/internet-usage. Wi-Fi enabled device required. Other restrictions apply.
Democrats rallied in Bladen County Saturday and renewed calls for a new election in the 9th Congressional District. No one has been seated in that race after allegations of fraud involving absentee ballots surfaced. Linda Baldwin Johnson voted via absentee ballot. She told a crowd she wants a new election.
I want my children, your children, my grandchildren, your grandchildren, and so forth and so on, to be able to vote.
There was something for everyone at the Super Bowl, even non-football fans. CBS's Allison Keyes talks about the halftime show and commercials.
That whole Maroon 5 thing generally panned on social media such as Twitter, where people wanted to know why he was shirtless. And didn't Janet Jackson get in trouble for less?
Answers are new questions.
From this Twilight Zone trailer with Get Out creator Jordan Peele to ads featuring everything from Game of Thrones dragons to robots and AI, this year's commercials were aimed at a younger crowd. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Authorities in North Carolina say a climber injured in a fall of more than 100 feet and another person were rescued from Looking Glass Rock in Pisgah National Forest near Asheville over the weekend. The suspense is over after a social media mystery.
The mystery of the Insta egg is over. In early January, a plain brown egg stole the title of most liked account from Kylie Jenner, but no one knew what it meant. Hulu has solved the mystery in a post-Super Bowl ad, the egg announcing it was cracking because of pressure from social media. The message, if you're struggling too, talk to someone and go to mentalhealthamerica.net. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Today's hits and yesterday's memories, WCAB Rutherfordton.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The biggest protest yet against Virginia Governor Ralph Northam expected in a few hours at the state capitol. He's under fire after a racist photo from his medical school yearbook surfaced from the 80s. The calls for Northam to resign include Virginia Legislative Black Caucus Chair Lamont Bagby.
He was sent here and came here to help those that are hurting. And right now, I think he's starting to realize, if he hadn't realized already, that this ordeal is hurting the Commonwealth.
President Trump getting ready for his State of the Union address tomorrow and has already been talking about U.S. troops in Iran.
President Trump is moving forward to withdraw U.S. troops from Syria and Afghanistan, but he says he plans to keep troops in Iraq as a check on neighboring Iran. The president sat down for an interview with Margaret Brennan for CBS's Face the Nation.
You're keeping troops in Iraq because you want to be able to strike in Iran?
No, because I want to be able to watch Iran. All I want to do is be able to watch.
The president said if Iran is, quote, looking to do nuclear weapons or other things, the U.S. will be positioned to know about it in advance.
ABC's Karen Travers at the White House. 5 people are dead after a twin-engine Cessna slammed into a Southern California home just after takeoff. ABC's Alex Stone says the NTSB is on scene.
This plane was too small for a black box, so investigators have to use other ways of piecing together what happened on board. They'll look for any GPS devices, any iPads or tablets the pilot might have been using. They'll look over maintenance records.
The pilot was killed, as were 4 people in the house. 2 more people are seriously injured. The Pentagon now confirms that more than 3,700 active duty troops are headed to the southern border to help back up Border Patrol agents. They're set to deploy in the next few weeks. Jury deliberations expected to begin this afternoon in the trial of accused drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Prosecutors say his cartel funneled tons of cocaine and heroin. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you owe the IRS more than $10,000 in personal or business taxes and you can't afford to pay? You have the right to tax representation. Has the IRS threatened to shut down your business, freeze your bank accounts, take your home, your cars, or garnish your wages? You may qualify for special programs to stop this process. Get tax representation. Call the Tax Help Hotline at 800-556-7089. That's 800-556-7089. Within 24 hours, the threats will stop. Just call 800-556-7089.
It's time to join the millions of people using Zoom video conferencing. Turn any size conference room, huddle room, or executive office into a Zoom room with flawless HD video, crystal clear audio, and instant wireless sharing. It'll even work with your existing hardware. Start your meetings with a single touch or use Zoom's new voice command feature. Hey Zoom, start meeting. Huddle happy. Visit zoom.us to set up your free Zoom room trial today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
One of the world's biggest car companies, Nissan, is pointing to the mess around Brexit and pulling out of plans to make a new SUV in England.
It all boils down to continued uncertainty over Britain's future relations with the European Union. Steve Bush from the Union Unite.
It gives rise to further questions. One, namely being, and most importantly, is this the start of the decision-making of no future investment in the UK?
As to the government's handling of the process, local businessman Richard Swartz says,
it's close to midnight now and businesses have to make decisions. We cannot wait any longer.
Less than 2 months before the withdrawal, the government still doesn't have an approved agreement that will replace the 45 years of frictionless trade in the EU. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
Facebook is marking its 15th birthday today and working through its trying teen years.
They called it the Facebook when Mark Zuckerberg and 4 other Harvard students launched it in a dorm room in 2004.
Facebook is an idealistic and optimistic company.
And that is how he described it last year when Zuckerberg was testifying to Congress about the social network that's become much more than a place where friends voluntarily share things.
It's clear now that we didn't do enough to prevent these tools from being used for harm as well.
Scott Goldberg, ABC News.
There are new calls for a new ban on smoking in Hawaii. A member of the Hawaiian legislature is now proposing what would eventually become a complete ban on cigarette sales. The idea, raise the minimum age to buy smokes until it hits 100. This is ABC News.
It's time to join the millions of people using Zoom video conferencing. Turn any size conference room, huddle room, or executive office into a Zoom room with flawless HD video, crystal clear audio, and instant wireless sharing. It'll even work with your existing hardware. Start your meetings with a single touch or use Zoom's new voice command feature. Hey Zoom, start meeting. Huddle happy. Visit zoom.us to set up your free Zoom room trial today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
If you haven't tried Jesse James Railroad Express, Railroad Avenue, Rutherford, you've been missing out. Jesse has some of the most delicious burgers, clubs, hot dogs, chef salads, taco salads, and much more. Everything is made to order, fresh daily, open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 4. Mention this ad and get a hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions, only 99 cents. That's Mondays only.
Good Monday morning. You'll want your sweater early this morning, but you can ditch the sweater this afternoon. It is going to be a beautiful day with highs climbing into the mid-60s. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies in the forecast today with mild temperatures. Tonight, low temperatures fall back into the mid-40s under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, we are mostly sunny and even warmer. Highs tomorrow climb into the upper 60s to lower 70s with mild temperatures lasting through the work week. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Yeah, I love it when you say beautiful weather. I like the sound of that. It's going, indeed, beautiful weather here in the foothills. And right now we're at 37, climbing up to a ladder to 67 today, and lots of sun. So let's enjoy that. The rain doesn't come back into the forecast until about Wednesday night, Thursday night, and then clearing out of here again for Saturday. So we may have another beautiful Saturday coming our way. Let's hope so. 37 degrees right now here on this Monday morning, 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. And it's Terry Thomas time. We like to check in with Terry Thomas because he's a man who knows where all the jobs are. Terry, good morning. How are you?
Just fine, and yourself?
Doing great, thanks. You have a good weekend?
Yes, sir.
You watch the Super Bowl?
Yes, sir.
Your team win?
I wouldn't. I didn't have a favorite.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It was just another football game to me. Didn't mean a whole lot to me. Tell us where some jobs are.
Okay. In the Lake Lure area, we have a janitor's position. This job requires a high school diploma and at least 3 months' experience, and this job pays $24,000 a year. Over in the Ballstick area, we have a reservation clerk. This job requires a high school diploma and at least 1 year experience as a reservation clerk or customer service, and this job pays depending upon experience. We also have an executive chef position in the Ballstick area. This job requires a high school diploma and at least 2 years experience as an executive chef, and the pay depends upon experience. Excuse me. Over in the Rutherford area, we have a packer position. This is working through a staffing agency. It does not require any experience, and the pay is $10.35 an hour. Over in the Columbus area, we have a senior quality/CI analyst position. This job requires 2 years of college and 6 years experience, and the pay depends upon experience. In the Tryon area, we have a parts department position. This job requires a high school diploma and at least 6 months working in a parts room. This job pays from $10 to $14 an hour, depending upon experience. In the Far City area, we have a security shift supervisor position. This job requires a high school diploma and at least 1 year experience, and the pay is $19 an hour. We also have a service technician in the Far City area. This is working with cable and internet services. This job requires a high school diploma and at least 1 year experience, and the pay depends upon experience. Also in the Far City area, we have a manufacturing engineering intern position. This job requires a high school diploma. It does not require any experience, but you must be enrolled in an engineering program, and this job pays $50,000 to $70,000 a year, depending upon experience. And we have a product engineering intern position, and there again, you must be enrolled in the engineering program, have a high school diploma, and there again, this job pays from $50,000 to $70,000 a year. We do have various certified nursing positions, assistance positions throughout the county, and we have a general utility position in the Rutherfordton area. This job requires a high school diploma, and the pay depends upon experience. So these are just a few of the jobs that we have available at the Rutherford County NC Works Career Center. We are located at 223 Charlotte Road, Rutherfordton. For more information on these or other positions, you can call us at 286-3042, or you can go on our website, at www.ncworks.gov.
Terry, thank you so very much for that information. We hope folks will react to that and go out and find some jobs.
It's my pleasure.
You have a great week.
You too.
Bye-bye. 10 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Monday morning. This is the 4th day of February. Congratulations to Angie Quinn of Cliffside. Angie's 47 today, and she won herself some Daylight Donuts from Granny B's.
You can relive them again here on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. WCAB.
Be the best Valentine for your Valentine. Send in a card to WCAB and be in the drawing for fabulous prizes, including dinner for two, chauffeured limo ride to dinner, flowers, jewelry, candy, massages, and much more. Send a Valentine with your name, your sweetheart's name, and your phone number, and tell us your favorite love song, and you could be the lucky winner. There'll be several daily drawings with some really nice prizes throughout the week of February the 11th. The preliminary prize winners will still be eligible for that grand prize drawing. The grand prize drawing will be held on Thursday morning, February the 14th, at around 8:15 on the morning show with Jim Bishop. The mailing address is WCAB, Post Office Box 511, Rutherfordton, North Carolina 28139, or bring it to us at 191 Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton. It must be in our hands no later than 8 a.m. Thursday morning, February the 14th. Good luck, and stay tuned to 100.9 FM, 590 AM to see who will be that lucky winner.
And the cards are beginning to come in now. The cards are here. Good. Congratulations. We'll start to draw on Monday, the 11th, for some preliminary prizes. We'll have several of those throughout the day. And then on Thursday, the 14th, we'll have a drawing for the grand prize. And that's really stacked up a lot of prizes, including the chauffeured limousine service to your favorite restaurant. 12 minutes after 8 o'clock.
It's the tax refund extravaganza at Bark Mobile, with deals on phones and plans that'll make your refund seem huge, like free Moto G6 Play smartphones for you and the kids when you switch. Unlimited data is just $50 a month for the first line, half price for lines 2 through 4, and the 5th line's free. I know, right? The tax refund extravaganza at Bark Mobile. Mobile made easy. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
At H&R Block, we want you to focus on your business while we handle your books. From payroll and bookkeeping to expert tax preparation and advice, we're ready to put our expertise to work for you. For the year-round services you need and the one-on-one attention you deserve, partner with H&R Block Business Services in Rutherford County to learn more.
At participating offices, services do not include audit, attest, or other services for which a license is required.
And H&R Block has 3 locations to serve you. 197 Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton, 1636 College Avenue, Suite 135 in Spindale, and at 542 Oak Street in Forest City.
Here's some stories from here and there this morning. A Daily Courier is reporting about the accident over in the Gilkey area. A 2-car crash Friday afternoon sent a 72-year-old driver to the hospital. Donald Kuhn was facing northbound in a 1993 Ford Mustang on U.S. Highway 221, waiting to turn left on Mountain Creek Road when Joey Marshall, 38, driving a 2009 Chevrolet PT Cruiser, slammed into the back of Kuhn, according to Highway Patrolman Trooper J.L. Nelson. First responders worked to free Kuhn from the wreckage. He was then taken to Rutherford Regional Medical Center with non-life-threatening injuries. Neither Marshall nor his passenger, wife Carrie Driggers, both of Cowpens, were injured in the 1:08 p.m. crash, Nelson said. Kuhn was turning to go toward his home located on Mountain Creek Road at the time of the wreck. Marshall was charged with failure to reduce speed, according to Trooper Nelson. 2 Burke County convenience store clerks have been charged for selling alcohol to an 18-year-old high school student who later died in an alcohol-related crash, according to the North Carolina Department of Public Safety. Authorities with Alcohol Law Enforcement and the North Carolina Highway Patrol charged Cody Childress, 37, and Amanda Mullins, 37, at the Run-In convenience store. Both were charged with the sale of alcoholic beverage to a person under the age of 21 and the sale of alcoholic beverage to an intoxicated person. We've also learned that last Friday, January 25th, local emergency services were called to Rutherford County Jail at approximately 8 o'clock p.m. A 30-year-old white male attempted to hang himself while incarcerated in the Rutherford County Slammer. Sergeant Jamie Dunn of the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department made the report. The inmate had not been on suicide watch. The report stated it was unknown if the inmate was under the influence of drugs or alcohol. The inmate was checked by a detention officer at 7:38 and again at 8:04. It was reported that the inmate's injuries sustained were minor. The case is under further investigation. Polk County is considering a new scenic highway or byway route to feature some of the county's natural features, including farmland, forests, the Packet River, and historic sites like the Sidney Lanier House. A group of residents concerned with plans to widen Highway 108 formed a subcommittee of the county's Appearance Commission to explore the option of a scenic byway and presented a proposal to the Polk County Board of Commissioners in January. The county has now scheduled a public hearing for today to gain input on the plan, set for 7 p.m. in the R. Ray Foster Hall of Justice in the Womack Building, Courthouse Street, Columbus. According to Polk County's website, the proposed route would begin at the corner of Skyuka Road and NC Highway 108 near Packlet Baptist Church, turning right before Packlet River Bridge onto Old Howard Gap Road, passing historic landmarks and scenic farms. It would then continue left onto Howard Gap Road, where it would pass more historic landmarks and farms before looping back onto Highway 108, Lynn Road. There it would pass old growth forest and historical residential homes, including Mill Farm, Lynn Coat, Over the Way, Twin Lanes, Wren's Nest, Beowulf Hall, and before returning right onto Erskine Road, according to the description of the scenic bypass of the scenic highway they're trying to establish there in Polk County. Couple were found dead in their home on Thursday evening down in Gaffney. Cherokee County Sheriff Steve Mueller said family members checked on the couple at their Covered Bridge Road home. When they arrived, the family found a broken iPad along the sidewalk near the home. No one answered when they knocked on the door, which was found unlocked. Sheriff Mueller said the family members entered the home and found it disheveled and then went back outside to call law enforcement. Deputies responded and found the couple dead in a bedroom, according to Cherokee County Coroner Dennis Fowler. The couple is identified as Ronald G. Gallman, 71, and Linda C. Gallman, 68. Fowler said it appeared that the couple died within a short time of each other late Wednesday. Sheriff Mueller said deputies aren't currently searching for a suspect and said there's no threat to the community. Autopsies will be done to assist in their investigation. They're unsure if it was a murder-suicide at this point. Meanwhile, Spartanburg County deputies arrested a man for possessing a stolen vehicle after he asked investigators for help to start it. Get this picture now. He sold his car and he wouldn't start, so he asked police officers to help him get it started. Justin Comer, 32, is charged with possession of a stolen vehicle by the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office after he was arrested late Thursday night. A passerby was also arrested by the same deputies for an outstanding warrant during an approximate 10-minute period. Two sheriff's investigators were checking a narcotics complaint in the Old Canaan Road area around 10:30 p.m. when Comer approached them to ask for help jump-starting his car. Comer led the deputies to the rear of some property, according to the report written, where they saw the 2006 Chrysler 300C. The car engine started after a few minutes, but deputies say they became suspicious when Comer displayed ignition keys, with one appearing to be broken at the tip. The investigators said they identified themselves as law enforcement officers to the Comer, who couldn't produce any proof of ownership for the car, which had a paper car dealership tag. The deputies ran the vehicle identification number, and it came back as stolen. Comer was arrested by the investigators, who say they contacted the car's owner, who confirmed the 300C had been stolen. While the deputies were dealing with the reported stolen car, two people approached them, according to the written report. Deputies say they identified Michael Lewis, 55, who had an outstanding warrant on a shoplifting charge in Greenville. Lewis was also arrested. 19 minutes now past the hour of 8 o'clock. Sports update and the sheriff's report coming up in just a few.
Here's some sweet news. Sweet Frog is reopening February the 8th. That's right. And just in time to order your chocolate-covered strawberries for your Valentine. Order a dozen of those popular chocolate-covered strawberries for only $14.99. Place your orders at 245-7475 and be the hero of Valentine's Day. They're delicious, presented beautifully, and it's a gift everyone enjoys. Sweet Frog has been voted the #1 yogurt shop in the USA. Now, isn't that sweet? Call 245-7475 or stop by Sweet Frog in the Rockwood Plaza beside Folks Cleaners in Forest City.
Hello, this is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. Are you on disability? Or maybe you're on Medicare? Or maybe both? Come see me, Dwayne Hunt at Insurance Service Associates, about a Medicare Advantage product brought to you by Humana. Please give me a call, 245-5301 at Insurance Service Associates, 127 East Trade Street, Forest City.
Shop Jay's Discount Grocery for your grocery needs and save big money. Incredible savings on everything in the store. Famous name brands arriving daily at a fraction of the cost. Fresh fruits and vegetables on Monday, Thursdays, and Fridays. Jay's has delicious steaks, pork chops, roast, cut fresh daily. Open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 7, Friday and Saturday, 8 to 8, closed on Sundays. EBT and debit cards are welcome. And don't forget to check out Jay's on Facebook for daily specials. Located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City behind the Hospice Resale Shop. Call 828-382-0457. Shop Jay's and walk out with a pocket full of savings.
Did you know that Rutherford County's largest pediatrics practice has 5 providers to serve the children and youth of this area? And even better, Rutherford Children's Care is welcoming new patients. With 3 physicians and 2 mid-level providers, the group is available to examine, diagnose, and treat patients from birth to age 18. Rutherford Children's Care is conveniently located at 162 Commercial Drive in Forest City, just behind Big Dave's Restaurant. To schedule an appointment, call Rutherford Children's Care at 828-287-9325. Here now is Officer King with our Sheriff's Report.
In the past 48 hours, the Sheriff's Department responded to 220 calls for service. There were 19 arrests processed in the jail, and jail currently has 172 people incarcerated. On our incident reports, Tia Holtz-Claw reported a breaking and entering that occurred on J.M. Lovelace in Ellenboro. Victoria Jacobs from Paxton Drive in Rutherford reported a larceny of a dog. And on our arrest reports, we have a Christopher Pike from Piney Mountain Church Road was arrested and served with felony probation violation, 3 counts on that, assault on a female, and injury to personal property, and he received a 48-hour hold. Brent Hankinson from Broy Hill Road in Rutherford was served with a felony probation violation and a misdemeanor probation violation. No bond given. Chad Gerald, listed as homeless, was arrested and charged with possession of a Schedule II controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and misdemeanor breaking and entering. Received a $40,000 secured bond. Tristan Mottsinger from Thompson Road in Rutherford was served with warrants for assault and battery, communicating threats, injury to real property, and also criminal summons for possession or consuming beer or wine on unauthorized premises. Received a written promise to appear in court. Tyler Weeks from Windy Hill Drive in Forest City was served with a felony larceny warrant and also failure to appear on a misdemeanor. He received a $3,000 secured bond. Warren Raines from the Spindale Prison was served with a warrant for possession of a controlled substance in prison. Received a written promise to appear in court. And Roberto Alvarez from Amity Drive Apartments in Forest City was arrested and charged with misdemeanor possession of a Schedule VI controlled substance and carrying a concealed gun. Received a $500 secured bond. And that's all we have for today.
The flu season will soon be upon us, and Smith Drugs of Forest City is ready to provide these immunizations at the drugstore at your convenience. We will bill your insurance, and one of our pharmacists can administer the vaccine to you Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. and on Saturdays by appointment only. Remember that a flu immunization is the best way to prevent getting the flu, In addition to washing hands, covering your mouth when you cough or sneeze, and staying home when you are sick. Prepare yourself and protect those around you with a flu immunization this year. Come see us at Smith Drugs of Forest City, 139 East Main Street.
A 13-3 finale over the LA Rams in Atlanta. Tom Brady, with the win, became the first player in history to be a 6-time Super Bowl champ, but he wasn't at his best last night. He was 21 of 35 for 262 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 pick. He threw an interception on his very first pass attempt.
Could have played better offensively, but the reality is, you get in these games, you just got to find a way to win, and we played well in the end, and that's what we needed.
Pats wide receiver Julian Edelman, who missed all of last season with a torn ACL, caught 10 of Brady's passes for 141 yards, and that was good enough to name him the MVP.
He played the best game he has all year. So proud of him, what he's accomplished coming back from his ACL.
Edelman's got a career 115 receptions in the postseason, which is second only to Jerry Rice.
I think everything happens for a reason. I was always taught, you always just got to work hard, work as hard as you can.
L.A. running back Todd Gurley was banged up and struggled throughout the game. He rushed just 10 times for 35 yards. Gurley's from Tarboro. Here's what he had to say afterward.
It's a blessing. It's disappointing, but you know what? What in life is not disappointing? You go through stuff like this to overcome the bigger things later.
Many records were set in last night's Super Bowl, and they all happened so slowly that anybody watching could have chiseled them onto stone tablets as they happened. Among them, the fewest points by both teams, a combined 16. Fewest points by the winning team, 13. Fewest combined points through 3 quarters, just 6. As well as the most consecutive drives that ended with a punt. The Rams had 8 of those. They also had the longest punt in Super Bowl history with 65. Some college hoops action on Sunday may have gone missed because of all the Super Bowl hoopla. Clemson logged consecutive wins for the first time since December with a 64-37 victory over Wake Forest. And UConn out-rebounded ECU by a nearly 2-1 margin. That was the big factor in the Huskies' victory over the Pirates, 76-52. This is NCN Sports.
This is your life, your community, your impact. Things are booming around Pittsburgh, North Carolina. Buildings are going up everywhere, and that means the need for skilled workers is growing too. Tune in to NC Impact to see how Pittsburgh is turning to women to help fill their need in construction. I'm Anita Brown-Graham. This is NC Impact.
Thursday night at 8 here on member-supported UNC TV.
Ready, set, fish. On May 4th in Morehead City, anglers of all ages will cast their lines for a great cause in the 11th annual Reelin' for Research Fishing Tournament, benefiting UNC Children's Hospital and Pediatric Cancer Research. Reelin' for Research has raised $3 million to date, and we're setting the bar high for 2019. There are plenty of offshore and inshore activities that help our mission, so the whole family can join. To learn more about Reelin' for Research or to donate, please visit reelin4research.org. Help us land a cure for childhood cancer.
Ex-Hurricanes had a hand in beating their former team Sunday afternoon. Derek Ryan, Elish Lindholm, and Noah Hennepin all scored in their first game back in Raleigh as the Calgary Flames beat Carolina 4-3 Sunday afternoon at PNC Arena. It was also the first game back in Raleigh for Flames coach Bill Peters. He resigned as Carolina's coach following last season before taking the Calgary job. Soon after that, the Flames acquired Lindholm, Hennepin, and Ryan. This is the second time in a couple of weeks that the Flames took down the Hurricanes. Carolina losing to Calgary on a West Coast road trip. Ricky Fowler overcame a bizarre triple bogey with birdies on 2 of his last 4 holes to win the PGA's Phoenix Open at TPC Scottsdale. He closed with a 3 over 74 for a 17 under total, 2 strokes ahead of Brandon Grace. Josh and Zach.
Good Monday morning. You'll want your sweater early this morning, but you can ditch the sweater this afternoon. It is going to be a beautiful day with highs climbing into the mid-60s. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies in the forecast today with mild temperatures. Tonight, low temperatures fall back into the mid-40s under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, we are mostly sunny and even warmer. Highs tomorrow climb into the upper 60s to lower 70s with mild temperatures lasting through the work week. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
It's going to be another great getting up morning here in the foothills. It's 37 right now, and we'll be climbing up really good to about 67 for a daytime high. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
It's so good to be here this morning with you. I bring greetings from our pastors and all the members of the Word of Faith Fellowship and tell you that we're so happy that you're listening and that we're praying for you. We love you, and we're so excited to be here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to share the good news of what's happened at the Word of Faith Fellowship and what's happening in our lives. When the power of the gospel of Jesus Christ comes into a heart, it transforms, it changes the heart of man. And we've seen that over the weeks, over the last year, more than a year now. You've heard from every walk of life. You've heard from grandmas, grandpas, ministers in the church. You've heard from some of our young people, our school-age children, our married couples. We wanted you to hear for yourself what's gone on in lives at the Word of Faith Fellowship. And this morning we have good news for you. And it's good news because you've heard from some of our young people in the church how powerful it is to hear a testimony from a young person in this generation. And many of the young people that have spoken on the program, you see they have direction. They have the knowledge of the call of God in their life, and the excitement in their life is they're doing the will of God. And this young lady sitting next to me is our oldest daughter. You've heard from Todd and I on the program, and this is Jessica, and she is a miracle. You know, the Bible says you know a tree by its fruit. And you know what's being preached at our church is the truth of the gospel. And when that's being preached, you see the fruit in the lives of the people. Jesse's going to tell you what it was like to grow up as a young child at the Word of Faith Fellowship, go through her kindergarten through high school and her teenage years, her graduation, and what Jesus has done in her life and what she and her husband are doing today. Jessica, share with our listeners.
Amen. Well, I'm so grateful to be with you this morning. And Jim, thank you. It's so good to have an opportunity to share about the Jesus you love, to share about what he's done for you. And, you know, I don't come to you this morning with a testimony like you've heard so many say of, you know, deliverance from horrible lifestyle, drugs, you know, alcohol, devastation. But I come to you with a testimony that God has kept me and he's protected me. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. And I've thought many times, you know, that's almost, it's as big of a miracle, even more of a miracle, to be kept from the devastation and the things of the world that the devil wants to do in people's lives. To be kept, to have those around you who guard you and keep you and give you the word of the Lord and teach you God's ways. And that's one thing I can always say about my mom and my dad. I mean, they put a holy love for the will of God in my life. And when you love Jesus and when you know that you have a call of God on your life, you don't want the things of the world. You go through that period of time, everyone does, where the things of the world, they pull on you, you know, look at that. What about those young people? They get to do this or they get to do that. Everyone goes through that. But God kept me. And I was touched by very little of the world. And that is a miracle. And I'll praise Jesus for that for the rest of my life. Because today I am fulfilling the call of God on my life. And I'm eternally grateful for that. And my story began in Oregon, all the way across the United States. And if you do listen to us and if you follow us, you did hear my parents tell the miraculous transport all the way out here. And what a miracle. What a miracle. And it would take us more than 10 programs to tell the details of that story. But the thing that sticks out to me is when I came along, my parents, their lifestyles totally transformed. God totally transformed their life. And that was the beginning of the preservation of the call of God on my life. And my dad and mom both were in the world. And when they found out I was coming along, they did something that I don't often see in this generation. They made a decision to totally change their lifestyle because of me. Because they wanted to raise me in the house of God. They wanted to raise me differently, separated from the torment and the grief that they had gone through. You know, sin causes torment. When you go down the path of the devil, when you go down that path, it causes grief and heartache and torment. And they didn't want that for their little baby girl. And I'm eternally grateful to you for that. And I know that that is the beginning of where God began to preserve the call of God on my life. And at a very young age, God spoke to my mom that I would even sing. I mean, God put that in her heart, and God began to speak that to her. And my dad was in the military when I was very young to about when I was 4 years old. And about that time, they just began to take the map and just cry out to God. You know, where are you moving? Where can we raise our girls? Where can we raise our family? Where is your spirit moving? And through a series of events, God brought us to Oklahoma and connected us up with our pastor, Sam and Jane. And it's a miracle. I mean, it's just a miracle. And it just shows me, and it's always showed me, that if you have one cry in your heart that you want to serve Jesus, I don't care if you are an island on the south tip of nowhere, God will hear that cry, and God will send you someone, and God will put you where you need to be. And that's the story of my life. God brought us all the way across the United States. And so the story goes, my dad operated heavy equipment in the military and drove truck in Oklahoma, semi-truck. And when God spoke to our pastors, Sam and Jane, to move back here to our town here, they needed a semi-truck to move the families that were going to come. And my mom said, oh, my husband drives trucks. So my mom and dad drove out here, and when they left, they felt like they were leaving home. They knew that God had spoken to them to move here, that this is where God had planted us. And we've been here, what, Mom? Over 35 years. And we were here. You have to understand, I've been here from the beginning. I was 9 years old when we moved here, actually. And all I have ever known is the love of God. And true, I mean, my grandparents were all the way in Oregon. That's a long way away. But Papa Sam and Grandma Jane, as I call them, have been true grandparents to me. They have taken care of us and our family as they have everyone in our church. There is room in their hearts for every one of us, and they've loved us and taken care of us. I mean, you've heard it said we abuse children. I've thought recently, if you want to know about our church, come ask us, because we love to tell about the Jesus that we serve. Listen to our radio programs that tells about our life. But also, the lies you hear out there, just reckon that the truth lies in the exact opposite. When the devil tells a lie, he can't tell anything close to the truth. Abused children, my life is a product of the love of Jesus and nothing but it, and the nurture and the teaching of God's ways, and the help and the admonition of each minister in my life. I have absolutely nothing but good things to say, good memories of all my growing up years. And as I said, my parents put in me a holy love for the will of God, and I still think it's miraculous. You know, even at 9 years old, I could have said, but Mom, what about my friends? We've been in Oklahoma here for 3 years. I mean, I'm going to have to leave all these people. I didn't even do it. I didn't even think it. All that God said to us, I wanted to do. And that's a miracle. Only God could have put that in my heart. And I know that, God was able to keep me and able to bring me to a place of serving him because I said yes to him. And if there's anything I want you to take away from the testimony of my life, is that it always turns out the best for you if you just say yes to Jesus. And whatever his will is for your life and whatever he wants you to do, it's always so good. And it turns out so good for you. The things that are hard in your life, the things that turn out badly for you, are the plan of the devil. And growing up, I always was taught, especially when we came to this church, that God has a plan for you. He has a plan for your life. You, every one of you, have a call of God on your life. And that's something I've realized recently, even that not everyone knows. Not everyone believes. I mean, every single person that he placed on this earth, he placed here for a purpose. He placed here for a reason. And our job is to surrender to it. That's all you're responsible for. He's written a book in your life, for your life, and every day has a page, so to speak, and all we're responsible for is to obey it. And that makes life really simple and really easy. I mean, the message that we've been taught from the very beginning is seek God for your life. Inquire of Him. Make Him first. Make Him number one in your life. And you know, it's natural that God put that love in my heart, because I've learned since God's made me a mom that whatever you love, whatever's important to you, that's what's going to be important to your children. If you make Jesus first in your home, your children will love Him with their life. If you put other things first, they'll love other things. But there's only two paths. There's only two ways. And that is the call of God on your life, which is joy, which is true peace. Laying your head on that pillow at night, it's true peace. And as I begin to grow and come through school and high school, you know, the pulls of the world did come to me. But there was a foundation that was laid in me. And parents, that's our job. I've learned more even since I've become a parent. That's our job. It's our job to lay that foundation. You know, the scripture's so real to me that says, train up a child in the way they should go. And in my Bible, the Amplified, it says, according to their gift and their calling. And when they're old, they will not depart from it. If you lay that foundation in them of truly loving Jesus and being able to go to Jesus for every need you have. I've never met a person who would tell me, and never in my life one time have I ever settled down and asked Jesus for anything that He didn't give me. Exactly what I needed. And I've never met a person that would tell me, you know, I truly surrendered my heart. I cried out to God with all my heart, and God didn't answer me. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. He will never, He says in His word, He will never disregard the cry of the destitute. If you truly see your need for Jesus, He's there for you. He will be there for you. And the circumstances He puts us in and the way He leads us, only He knows what you need to change your life. And I know that as the world began to reach out to me, God began to speak to me out of that foundation of the fear of God that was in me. And I began to realize that I didn't actually know Him. I had been in church all my life. I mean, my parents had the fear of God all my life. But I began to realize that Mom and Dad's relationship with God wasn't going to get me to heaven. It wasn't enough for me. I had to know Him myself. And one of the first scriptures that God began to take me to was in Job. And it's so precious to me what God said here. And it just, you know, I don't know, when you read your Bible and it just leaps off the page at you. That's what this did. And this was at a time when I was seeking God. I knew that there were things in my heart, desires that weren't of Him, because I'd been taught what I was to desire and what I was not to desire. And that's a big key. It's a first step in a child's life. And that brought me to Jesus. I mean, there's another scripture that's precious to me in Proverbs, and it says in Proverbs 6, it says, my son, keep your father's God-given commandment. Keep it. That's a commandment to every child, every man, woman, and child on this earth. My son, keep your father's God-given commandment. Forsake not the law of your mother who taught you. And that's our job. I'll say it again, because now I understand. Now I understand my little girl's only 8, and I want to share with you a little later about the miracle God did to give us her. Caleb and I cried out to God for her. But it's our job to teach them, to lay that foundation. And it says, bind them upon your heart. And it says, when you go, the words of your parents' God, they will lead you. And when you sleep, they'll keep you. And when you wake, they'll talk with you. And that is my life story. I mean, not just my parents. My mom and dad always allowed me to come to Jesus. They always had me right in the center of God's will. And I had such enrichment from the ministers of God in my life. I mean, I had such input from those that knew God and those that understood him and those that loved him with their whole heart and mind. And I can't say enough. I don't have words to say how grateful I am for that. And during that time, again, when God began to deal with me, I came to Job 22. And in verse 21, it says, acquaint now yourself with him. And in the Amplified Bible, it says, agree with God and show yourself to be conformed to his will. And right there, my heart began to melt. And I began to see, I don't want anything, Jesus, that you don't give me. I don't want anything that is not your will, your perfect will for my life. And it says, and be at peace. And I begin to see, and I've seen it since as I've walked, that is the only peace that you'll have, is if you agree with his will. No matter how old you are, no matter who you are, where you are, if you cry out to him, he'll speak his will to you. And if you obey it, he will see you through, and you will have peace. And it says, if you return to the Almighty, submit and humble yourself before him, he will build you up. And if you put away unrighteousness far from your tents, and that's an act and a choice of our own will. It's a choice. If you lay gold in the dust and the gold of Ophir in the stones of the brook, consider them a little worth. Consider anything of little worth compared to the priceless treasure of knowing him. And make the Almighty your gold and the Lord your precious treasure. And that's what began to work in my heart, even with the reading of that scripture. And every day I begin to cry out. And at graduation, I remember, I'll never forget it, I stood up. The graduation was pretty much over. Everybody had said what was in their heart. And all of a sudden, I found myself to my feet. And I said, as for me, all I ask, and it's in Psalms, one thing I have asked of the Lord, and that may I seek, inquire for, and insistently require, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord and in his presence all the days of my life. And you know, we have a little terminology among us, Mom and Dad and I, when you say, I drove my stake in the ground. And that may be difficult for you to understand, but for me that means I'm going nowhere but his perfect will. I've made my decisions. My questions are settled. I've made my decisions. And all my life, it's been a journey of learning to say yes to him. I'll never forget when God so put it in my heart to go to Africa on a mission trip. And I was young, and I never really traveled much. So if I did, it was going to be Mama or Daddy or, you know, my pastor, Sam or Jane. They were going to be, I mean, I had to have somebody with me. I just didn't know about this traveling and all the way across the world. Africa's a long way away. And when I signed up for the trip, it was a missionary trip. It appeared that you were going and Grandmother Jane was going, and I was all at peace with this. And it looked like everybody's schedules changed at the last minute, and it looks like they weren't going. And we were going with a group of people, don't get me wrong, wasn't going to Africa by myself. But I had this little struggle inside of me. I'm not sure about this. I knew what God put in my heart, but I wasn't sure, you know. And I'll never forget this. We began to sing in praise and worship. And we begin to sing, you're my refuge and my strength. And my heart began to melt right there. Oh, God of my salvation, mighty Prince of Peace, and Lord of every nation. And when we sang that, it all broke off of me. I thought, he's going with me. Jesus is the Lord of every nation. And those type examples have been very real in my life, because anytime I struggled, I always would go to Jesus and I'd always cry out to him. And he always sent me his word. He always spoke it to me, always. And that's how I began to acquaint myself with the Almighty. I began to understand him. I began to know him. And that is a lifelong journey for every one of us. That's the reason we were born, is to come to know him, to love him, and to serve him. There's nothing in this world more fulfilling than serving him and knowing that you're in the perfect will of God. And I can truly say, when God sent me Caleb, my husband, it was so precious. And that's one thing about our church that I just love, is God lays a foundation in us every day of practical, everyday living, right where you live. And he taught Caleb and I how to be friends through our pastors, through our youth pastors, Robin and Frank and Holly and Mark, and laid a foundation in us, even in John 15. And John 15 is a precious chapter that talks first about being one with Jesus and being united to the vine. And dwell in me, in verse 4 it says, Jesus says, and I will dwell in you. And that's the ultimate goal of any Christian, is that you become a home for him. And the only way to do that is obey his message. Surrender to it, obey it, and you'll love it. And he will love you. And it says over in 14, it says he will love you. Jesus says in 23, he says, if a person really loves me, and that's the way I want to be, I want to really love him. It says if he really loves me, he will keep my word. He will obey my message. And then my Father will love him, and we will come and make our home, our abode, our special dwelling place in him. And that's what also John 15, the first part of the chapter, begins to talk about. Dwelling in him, keeping his word, loving his word. And in and of ourselves, we don't have any ability to do that. I mean, in and of ourselves, we don't have the ability to keep every jot and tittle. Then when the old law came, that's where we learned. Man's not able to keep every jot and tittle of that. But if all you do is surrender and just say, if someone's up preaching and you know that that's not working quite in your life like it should be, cry out to him right there. And he will change it. He will change it. And the foundational scripture that God put in Caleb and I's heart is in verse 12. It says, this is my commandment, that you love one another just as I have loved you. And it says, no one has greater love or has shown stronger affection than to lay down, give up his own life for his friends. You are my friends if you keep doing the things that I've commanded you. And it says, I do not call you servants or slaves any longer, for slave does not know what his master is doing. But I call you my friends. If you want to be a friend of God, this is it. Because Jesus said, I have made known to you everything that I've heard from my Father. And that's what we begin to learn. We begin to learn to lay down our life for each other. It doesn't just become the two of you. It's so full what God does. It's so fulfilling what God does. I mean, God began to put each one of our friends in our heart in a new way. And we begin to lay our life down, and that's when your life changes. When you have your eyes on yourself and all of your problems, all you have is misery, torment. But if you lay your life down for someone else and you get them in your heart and you want the best for them, then that's when your life changes. And the very first foundation that God laid in Caleb and I's heart is we were true friends. I told him everything Jesus spoke to me, and he did the same. And God started us on a journey. I mean, our families pretty much came here within months of each other. So we grew up together. And, Caleb was a quiet little fella, so we didn't quite play as much as Josh's brother and I did, but he was always there. He was always there, and I didn't even know it. You know what I mean? And I never knew he'd be my husband. But the friendship was so precious to me, and the work that God did. And, as God blessed us and we were married, the one thing that I'm so grateful for is Caleb and I do not have strife. How can you have strife when you have the love of Jesus? And I'm not going to tell you that nothing's tried to hit, but I made a decision, and Caleb made a decision when we got married. We will have unity in this marriage, and we will never be separated by anything. And Caleb will tell you, I'll go through every detail. If there's something that misunderstanding or something didn't, we will iron every last bit of it out, because I will have nothing between us. We've been married now 12 years, and we still feel that way. It's still the foundation from which a lot of people get married for a lot of the wrong reasons. And that brings heartache and torment. But Caleb and I both knew, and everyone in our family knew, that God gave us to each other. And that was such a beginning and such a foundation that God, laid in us. And that's what I love about our church. As I said, God brings such practical, everyday, how to not have strife, how to come out of bitterness, how to walk with your family, or how to, you've heard it said that we separate families. Well, the exact opposite is true in our church. The union in our families is so strong that no devil can get in between us. The union in us of walking together, and that's what it's all about. We're not going to take anything from this world. You can spend your whole life trying to find riches and happiness and material things and a name for yourself and an image and this car or that person, and you'll burn in hell, because you never fulfilled the call of God in your life. I truly believe that God put us here on this earth for a purpose. And if we do not fulfill that purpose, then hell is ours, because heaven is for those who Jesus lives in, he has made a home in their heart. And we believe that. And I know, how does this happen? But another thing I wanted to share, because it's so part of my life, is the song of the Lord. And something so miraculous that God did is, our pastor, the devil lied to her for years and years that she could never sing. And I went and looked, Mom, and God has given her over 300 songs. Through her, God has spoken songs, and she's written songs for couples that it's the word of the Lord for their life. Each couple that gets married in our church, and I've had the privilege of being a part of that. And, it's their testimony, but it's their stake in the ground. It's their decision, and God gives, it is prophetic. As they live out their life, they can look back at the word of the Lord and what he said. And so precious. Do I have time to sing? Yes, open the door, yes. I wanted to sing one of the songs that she gave. God gives us songs for surrender, songs for deliverance, songs for, so many different purposes. And this song is a true dedication of a heart. And she wrote it out of the dedication that she has to God in her own heart. And it's called Jesus, You're My Lord and Savior. Jesus, You're my Lord and Savior. You're the ruler of my life. I want You to be the King of all the kingdoms of my heart. So purge me, cleanse me, prove me, and try me today. Never lift Your dealings of mercy from me. I want to glorify You in my life, in every way. So teach me Your ways, lead me into Your path of righteousness. For this day, I want to be Your servant, Your vessel of honor, bringing glory to Jesus all the way. So purge me, cleanse me, prove me, try me today, and never lift Your dealings of mercy from me. I want to glorify You in my life, in every way. I want to glorify You in my life, in every way.
And That song so speaks the hearts of our pastors. You ought to hear the whole church sing it. It's so powerful. Come and visit with us and listen to the praises of God and the testimonies and the Word of God being preached. It was such a blessing to be here today with you, and thank you, Jesse. What an honor and a testimony to hear the heart of a young person who's given their heart to Jesus and walks with Jesus and wants to live every day for the will of God. It's such a blessing to be with you. We encourage you to go to the website, wordoffaithfellowship.org, listen to more testimonies, and hear the good news about the Word of Faith Fellowship. We'll be back on Wednesday.
100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherfordton.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Protests expected to ramp up in Virginia's capital later this morning with more calls for Governor Ralph Northam to resign. ABC's Zachary Quiche says it's all after a racist photo from his med school yearbook from the 80s resurfaced.
Big-name Democrats have distanced themselves from the governor and asked him to resign immediately. Among those, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, the Congressional Black Caucus. They say you gotta go.
5 people are dead and 2 others hurt after a small plane crashed into a home in Southern California. ABC's Matt Gutman is in Yorba Linda.
There is a massive debris field here, at least 4 blocks wide. The fuselage of the plane hit in a ravine behind somebody's home. That home engulfed in flames. 4 people killed inside, another 2 people suffering burns in this